Great. There's a lot to go through today, so let's get started. Welcome to Tuesday. Just want to give a big shout out to, man, I can't remember your name, but whoever was in the YouTube replies yesterday that was like, "Hey, you should play Pick Six," and I was like, in my mind, what a dick thing to say. One, thank you for watching. Two, you were absolutely right. Pick Six was super soft last night. I posted a couple on Twitter. It was easy cash on pick six. We got hooked, so made the flex on the underdog line, but got hooked on one of the kills. Um, but the pick six paid out really well. I'm gonna guess everybody played two players from BLG because you can play two from each team, and correlation doesn't go against you. So it ended up basically doubling what it was. Not to mention that pick six for a lot of people, there was a 30% payout increase that was available for just League of Legends yesterday. We'll look and see today. I haven't looked at DraftKings at all yet. We're gonna look in a minute. I just opened it in the background. But we'll look and we'll do some pricing and stuff. But yeah, there was that, and I had tokens for NFL or something. I don't know, but I had some stress-free tokens, so it was just like free bets. So totally lost my ass on DFS because KT. All right, KT absolutely ran in the in the LCK regular season, in wins, KT averaged almost 25 kills per win, which is incredibly high. They were against the best competition though, so it's possible that they were playing from behind or having to fight more, or having to fight more early and try and steamroll. So my projections were a little over. I wrapped in some additional information to try and balance it out and lower them a little bit. So the projections for KT are going to be lower, but even in the playoffs, they still were a really solid over 20 kills per win. And this is again against the best competition. So they got a little behind early last night. It ended up costing me everything on DFS, but big thanks to the user who was like, "Hey, play some pick six." So thank you very much, and thanks of course for watching the video. Um, we'll look at some pick six stuff today. I've added in the spreadsheet, I've added a tab that has, that's not it. That's it. I've added a tab at the bottom that just says LOL daily props for today, and it has all the, um, you can just scroll up and down for the games, but it has like the kills per win, kills per loss, assists per win, assists per loss, deaths per win, deaths per loss. I don't do CS or fantasy score. You guys can figure all that out. CS, and honestly, like the projections for best of one are a fucking joke. Like, it's pointless to do these. I've talked about this on so many slates in the past, but internationals are really hard to do projections for because we don't know how teams play, and best of one is a nightmare. There's all sorts of things can happen, but also so much of the data that we use to make that I use to make projections is based on previously occurring matches, which now are commonly best of three or best of five. And with fearless drafting, it means that what we see in team behavior in game five is very different than in game one. And without fearless drafting, it's just a different environment. There's a lot of stuff to do. One other thing we did get right yesterday, or that I got right, and if you tailed me, you got it right, was I called out some bets for over unders on kills. We nailed it. Yeah, like I said, Vegas wasn't going to keep him up there for more than a day. Today, the kill numbers have really declined in a lot of these matches. Um, so I'm smiling because overall it was a really good night. Like I woke up to a lot of green. I also was really happy to see BLG lose. Fuck BLG. Um, and, but then on the DFS side, it was a just an absolute loss. Just everything. I think I had like one line cash in the $1. Um, but ahead for the day. Let's move forward, and it's all about diversifying, right? Especially these DFS. Let's look at DFS contests real quick. You'll see they put up the $5. Yesterday they did after I posted my video and complained complained a bit and complained to a few people, and I know other people had. But you'll see that they posted the $5 team fight with 1,000 to first. This really should be double. This is gonna, I mean, this is gonna fill early. So if you want to play it, especially if you want to MME, get in there now, get your entries in, reserve them. It's going to fill early. After it fills, the double buff will fill, but that'll probably be closer to lock. I would guess an hour, hour and a half before lock, we'll see the double buff fill. Um, there is like an argument that the double buff is actually the best leverage contest, but I don't know. They're both M35. You're basically going against the same people. I think that's fine. These single entries are okay. I mean, power spike at 100 is fine. This counter gank is actually pretty good. You'll see out of 11 people, it pays the top three. It doubles, so you're better than 25%, which is what we're looking for at any point. Um, I mean, this is actually a surprisingly good one. The problem is that the top prize just isn't great at 250, so it's 5x, but I think this is probably one of the better ones. These winner take alls or whatever. First blood, of course, is a fine contest. Should be like an M20 or an M14, so you can put 14 in there. Um, I think 400 is too low, but it didn't fill yesterday, so. This is also a good contest here. The 150 solo fight single entry with just 35 players. It only pays the top five, so actually, like, that's bad, but the top end compared to the number of players is good. It's good. But get in there, get your $5 entries in. Um, yeah. Okay. So this slate. It's winners against winners, losers against losers, as expected. Sorry. And we have some pretty interesting ones. There's one in particular I really want to talk about. So yeah, let's just use this bracket. TS 100 Thieves. I feel like 100 Thieves looked pretty good yesterday. They they did a really nice upset over BLG, but frankly, like I said before, I think BLG is just not very good. I know they're the one seed from the LPL. I think they should be the three seed from the LPL. I think TS should be the first seed from the LPL. It'll be a really interesting matchup, and I'm hopeful that all the memes and everything will push people to 100 Thieves. I like top esports here. Actually, let's do it from the other sheet. But I like top esports there. Um, let's go in order. So FlyQuest minus 400 key stars. This is easy money on FlyQuest. They drastically adjusted these over under on kills to 28 and a half. That is, you'll see in my sheet, it has the, here it's got the Vegas odds, and then underneath it, it has the over under for kills. And then this here says in a win, what we should expect the total kills. So this is the total kills for both FlyQuest and Keystars if FlyQuest wins this year, this number. So this is actually just like a little guideline. Anything where it's basically off of two or more over or under on both teams or one team that's really strong, that's where I decide that that's the bet. But yeah, they move this down to 28 and a half, and you can see my model says, yeah, that's about right. That's about right. So I don't think there's any bet here. I don't think I would lay FlyQuest at minus 400 in best of one. But this game is really interesting. This is an interesting one for our first game. Let's talk about FlyQuest and BKS. So they both came, Vivo Keystars and FlyQuest both came out of the LTA. FlyQuest, of course, the LTA North. Vivo Keystars is the LTA South. We just saw them play two best of fives, and it wasn't close. FlyQuest won 3-1 in the grand finals, and they won 3-0 in the semifinals or quarterfinals. This is just not a serious competition. You'll notice here, though, in that 3-0 win from September 20th, they did not play Bwipo because Bwipo was in the middle of his incident. If you're not familiar with what Bwipo did to spend some time away from his team, you can find it online. I'm not going to get into it, but Bwipo was out for a little while he was resolving some issues, and they had Gatgos in, and let's talk about what Gatgos looked like as far as results. So Gatgos went 6-0 and 8 in a win. And you'll notice here, Busio at 1-0-12 did good. Masu did not do so great at 3-0-6. Quad at 4-7. Inspired. These are fine numbers, but Gatgos really stands out here at top. I've talked a lot about how in the LTA South, top players play more carry style And I think that the LTA North's way of managing that, and FlyQuest may have managed that in particular, is to play a lot through the top and through top aggressiveness. So in game one, Gatghost is an incredible play there for fantasy. In game two, we'll see Gatghost went 4, 3, and 12. This is a great line. Quad went 9, 2, and 10. Masu went 4, 3, and 11, but Gatghost outscores the ADC here. Busio with this incredible 3, 0, 16. So these are pretty interesting scores, inspired by far at the low end here. In game three of this one, we see Gatghost with an 8, 1, 9. If you want to get an idea in fantasy points, that is, what's that, 24 and 18? That's 41 fantasy points plus his CS, which would have been 30 times 7, 210. So it's about, this is almost 50 points. Inspired here, good line. These are all good lines. Masu with a monster 13, 1, and 10. That's a lot. That's 51 off the top. No, 39, 59. It's 60. That's 60 points plus CS, so 65 points. That's crazy as far as the score goes. Um, Obviously, these are garbage scores here. So we see that Gakko scored exceptionally well. And then if we go and look at the finals with Bwipo, we're going to see this also be the case. Now, game one, not very inspired here. Masu, Monster 12-1-5, Quad 3-1-15, Busio 17 assists. I mean, this is nice. This is a good 34 point score. Yep, they're almost 35 points with CS. In game two, if we look at Bwipo, 9, 2, and 5. I mean, this is monster. He had 9 kills. They only had 18 total kills. Like, he had half the kills. That's a crazy kill share from Bwipo. Game three, now, FlyQuest lost this, but we'll see that he's still one of the, I think, yeah, he's the top scorer here in a loss. They lost bad. 22-2 is the kill score. But back in game four, we see Bwipo again, 8, 3, and 5 versus Masu's 4, 1, 6, Quad's 4, 1, 9. I think that Bwipo is like, I think that this top position is a really interesting one to play. I think that we have, I know this is, it's recent at least, and we've seen two players do it. So I think there's clearly a strategy that FlyQuest have about playing through that top lane position. I think Bwipo should be considered one of our like real go-tos for the night. Um, we'll look and see what everything costs, but if we can get to FlyQuest, even as a one-off, it's just hard not to play some Bwipo here. Okay, I think that's the only one we need to do a serious breakdown on. KT Secret Whales. Oh, yeah. So we have these ones yesterday where we weren't sure who was going to start at top for CFO and for Secret Whales, as well as at mid for BLG. You'll notice in my sheet, I put Shadow in for mid, and here's why. Yesterday on Chinese social media on Weibo, the League of Legends event official page um, posted starters, and there was some debate. I didn't trust it at all, but they had put Beishuan in as the starter yesterday. However, today they put Shadow in, which makes sense because BLG lost to a much worse team yesterday. So I think we're going to go with Shadow today. Also, you'll see that Hero, but those three positions they had correct yesterday. I think that Hero and Driver were the most likely starters. I think Pun should be starting, but Hero and Driver were the most likely starters anyways. It was really just this BLG situation. So my gut instinct is to trust this, say that Shadow's going to be starting today. I don't really know where this data is coming from, but they're posting it as soon as the schedules are set, which makes me think that this year at Worlds, the teams are being asked to turn in their rosters and starters when the schedules are made, when the teams are set. This post also has side selection, so if you're one of those people that you're a blue-red truther, this is pretty interesting stuff in my projections, which is why my teams often appear in a different order from Vegas. I think Vegas had like PSG at the top and HLE as the second team. I always, when I know who blue side's going to be, I always put blue side at the top. So here we have HLE's blue side, PSG's plus 475 at the red side. So, yeah, let's get back to it. KTTSW. Hey, remember how I said I was way off on KT yesterday? Guess what? I'm gonna just play KT again. Secret Whales looked good, but I'm not getting there. If you can get to Secret Whales, you should absolutely straight line bet them plus 550. Even with my adjustment, I adjusted way down the total overall kills. You'll see that that tanked perfect score, but Duckdom and Cuz still holding in strong, as well as Peter. And we were still pretty right. I mean, like Peter was well over the 10.5 assist line. Not well. He had a half an assist more than what we bet for props, but that's fine. Uh, yeah, KT still in my model, even with the adjustments, even with manually forcing it down by almost 25%, I still, no, by more than 25%, I still have them with a significant number of kills. If you want to know what the actual just for them kills would be, you don't have access to this. I have it as 23 to 10, 23 to 9. And so the real question is if Secret Whales can get 9 to 10 kills to balance this out. But 23 kills coming from the KT side is pretty strong. Yeah, I like that. Okay, match 3, Koi, G2. You know, we should have data for this, right? Am I not remembering correctly that those are both teams in Europe, aren't they? Yeah. So let's look at this. I guess we have one more to look at. What do we have? Two best of fives. Yeah, 3-0 G2 and 3-1 G2. Let's see. Okay. In wins, Broken Blade 10 assists, Hansama carried, Lebrov just an insane score. Lebrov's great in wins. I'm like a big Lebrov truther. Hansama, yeah, this is just Hansama Skewmond. That's a loss. And let's see, 617. Yeah, Hansama, Lebrov. Okay, and then in the finals, these are. Let's start with game one. Yeah, 6-0-10 Skewmon, 5-1-10, 2-1-14. This is actually kind of a down game. 32 minutes. Yeah, see, the Broken Blade just, I'm not going to play him. In a best of one, he might pop off, but I'm never going to get him. But Hans, Skewmon, Lebrov, even Caps. I mean, I'm not going to play Caps, but you could. But Lebrov here in a really low scoring game. They only had 15 kills, 15 to 3 was the kill score. Lebrov had almost 100% kill participation, had 20% kill share. This is a monster game line. And considering the kills, I mean, Hansama also did really well. So that's what we're looking for there. But I mean, obviously, we're going to like G2 a lot. I think, God damn it. Let's see, minus 200. That's probably free money. It is best of one, but I just don't get it. Um, yeah, this forecast for kills under, but is pretty close. Oh, okay. TES 100 Thieves. Let me fix this formatting. TS 100 Thieves. I like TS. Like I said before, though, I think some people might push for 100 Thieves. This is one where we would bet the killovers, especially if we believe 100 Thieves are going to be competitive. Like 27.5 is too low. Go get some of that. Like it's weird to see like be like, oh, this G2 Koi game is going to be right at 25.5, but this TS, that's just way too low in my opinion. CFO, like I said, I'm heavy on ES for this. CFO T1. We love the Flying Oysters. They're great. They took T1 to 5 games earlier. This T1, a lot of people feel like earlier this year. Um, this people just don't like this T1 variant. And coming through the plan, people think that they're like I think there's this impression that they're just not as good as years past, but I think they're the second best team from the LCK here. I think they're better than HLE. Um, Obviously, we have T1 international history. This team has a lot of experience. Carry is the best jungler probably ever, in my opinion. In my opinion. But he's just extremely dynamic too. But like we expected, CFO looked really good yesterday. They really outperformed expectations as far as kills went. They ran the score up, something we weren't expecting from people. This region really pushed their games and were able to close pretty convincingly. So I think um, I think there's going to be times you want to take a shot. If you really don't like T1, CFO here is both a good bet and a good fantasy play. But I'm gonna be on T1 here. It's all favorites again today? Yeah, yeah, probably. Genji AL, like I expected yesterday, AL did very well against HLE. I was on the fence as to whether they could legitimately win. They did end up winning that game, but it's kind of messy. You can go watch it online. Can they beat Genji in a best of one? Yeah. Are they going to? No. The smart money here's on Genji, but for DFS, I actually think there's a lot of meat here to go down to AL, who should be priced extremely well. We'll see. You can play Fnatic versus BLG, but why the fuck would you? BLG's minus 460. That number's too big, considering we just saw them lose badly. But uh, I like the kill overs here. The overline is set at 27.5. I have this BLG. I think they'll likely run it up to if they get ahead early. Let's see, BLG. I have them winning 23 to 8, so almost 31. Even with just the 23 kills, 23 to 5, 23 to 5 would be the only way that they miss out. Like the 27.5 is just too low. Vegas overcorrected today based on what happened yesterday. It happened. So if you can still get this at 27.5, I think I pulled it from Bovada earlier. I don't think it'll log me in. Hold on. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, it's still at 27.5. I mean, it's juiced to the over, but it, I, we'll see. But I also think that like if Fnatic wins, they likely have to push through battles, and it, I think that 27.5 is just too low. I like BLG here. I'm gonna get to a lot of shadow probably for DFS. Fnatic is fine. Upset's good. Razork is good. Uh, let's see if he wants to play Elise again. All right, this HLE PSG game. PSG talent is actually like fine. I think they're the third from the region. HLE, this just really isn't comparable. I think this number is wrong though. There's like if you have such a big bankroll that you can put 8 units into HLE to win 1 unit, it probably is free money. Like, and if that's worth it to you, then go for it. But I don't think the kind of people that that's worth aren't limited by books. Um, and if you're limited, I'm not sure that there's a bunch of value in, let's say, putting down $8 to win $1. There's not a ton of value in. If you can get down like 8 grand to win $1,000, then you're actually making some sort of meritable money on the end. My limits don't allow for that. Nor does my bankroll allow for that, especially in a loss. But this is probably like the definition of free money. But minus 800 is just why would you get involved there? Um, we have the kills look pretty much right on the money. I don't know. Okay, so that's games. We like all the favorites. I think if we were picking dogs, it's probably AL versus Gen G, just because we know Gingy can be beaten in a best of one. Ale looked pretty good yesterday. This is a team that has like some strengths. I think from there, like if you wanted to pick one of the minor league teams, I actually think PSG versus HLE is kind of interesting. I think Fnatic is kind of interesting, but I won't get there. You could obviously take like Koi versus G2 as a dog. You know, these teams aren't so good that they can't be beaten, and JoJo has been a world class player at times. And Koi looked pretty good yesterday until they ended up losing in the end. But they looked good for the first 8 minutes, and then against KT, and then they just got absolutely fucked. Like they just, if you haven't seen it, they're like way ahead, way ahead, way ahead, and Cuz is like just in lane, and he's just soaking up BDD slightly behind him, and it looks like the worst play. I mean, the worst play, but it was the one of the greatest baits I've seen in some time. All of Koi gets together. They just get eaten by one ultimate. It is an absolute bloodbath, and Cuz is able to walk out. Like all five of them are just firing at him. And that's a real sign of what the problem ended up being was that in later fights, they were up 3 Drakes to none. They were up 7 kills to none. They were so far ahead in the game. They were up by like 4,000 gold. And they basically just got killed by one ultimate in the mid lane. And the game just really fell off from there. It was it. I think it's a great game to watch just to get an idea of how different the levels of play are. Where Koi was like, "Oh, we're gonna kill this guy," and they just couldn't understand that there was a larger plan in play there for KT. And then KT rolled the rest of the game. I mean, embarrassing, but that's why KT scores were so bad yesterday too. But highly recommend watching. It's a great game. If you ever want to contact me, by the way, Twitter's not the best way to do it. A couple people sent me messages yesterday. I'll put the DFR Discord link in the description for this video. That's the best place to get me, is to tag me in there. I don't have my notifications turned on for Twitter anymore, so it's real hit or miss. But yeah, but that's I've talked about it every video. It's a great community. The people in there are good. It's part of a paid provider for NASCAR, but it's a free Discord, and the channel for League of Legends and other esports is extremely good. The people are just genuinely great. Like I I don't want to say I love them because I think they get a big head, but I love them. I love them. They're good people. All right, let's look at this team fight. So, FlyQuest, KT, G2, TS, T1. I don't think we're going to play Jin, but let's keep him in the pool. And then one of the crazy things about DraftKings is that they use the Vegas lines to set pricing usually. Like there's always a little bit of change, but I feel like wow, maybe we are going to get to some Genji. This is too cheap. This is way too cheap. All right, let's look at who we might want. Whippo, Masu, Elyoya, playing the G2 side. Lebrov. Ooh, that projection is just too low. Brav, Skewmond, Hansama. We're not going to play Broken Blade. We could play Caps. We're going to do all of T1. We're going to do all of BLG, HLE, Gen. Yeah, all TS. Then KT, we're going to be a little selective here. Fuck. Fucked it. I I buffed it, guys. Uh, but who do we like the most? Duck Dom again? Okay, let's just build from the projections. We're just going to take Duck Dom here. I wonder if we can do him at captain. Like we said, we like Whippo, Doran's less, Keen. Did they misprice the G2 game? Oh, that feels like a misprice. Though, I mean, we're not going to play Broken Blade, but yeah, this is basically mispriced. I mean, like I said, there's a real concern about there being enough kills, but we can do Skimon Hansama pretty easily. Okay. 37. Guma, Elk. And maybe we just want to do BLGKT. I I really think this TS, I think this might be a lot better than expected. Let me see if let me see if Run Pure has their stuff up yet. No, they still have yesterday's up, but Run Pure, their model often works from the Vegas side, and so their projected kills, which then inform their projections. You didn't see that. Nobody saw that. Um, I probably should edit that out, actually. No, you know what? Nobody watches these videos. It doesn't matter. Uh, anyhow, probably should edit that out, huh? Anyways, go subscribe to RPS. Kev's a good guy. He really knows what he's doing. I mean, I'm not sure he's a good guy. I don't feel like Kev and I are friends, but he's a nice guy. He's very professional. He's respectable, and he takes what he does seriously, and I do really respect him. Um, we can be friends, Kev. If you're watching this, we can be friends, buddy. Uh, I think though, God, this is so tough. Really, a lot of options here. Let's go G2 and see what that looks like. I'm getting a ton of text messages from Coin. Hey, if you're the one person who's trying to get into my Coinbase right now, enjoy it. Enjoy it, whatever you might find. I prefer Peter if we can do Peter. Yeah, we should be able to, no problem. G2, that price, 4,800. Slam G2 team. That just feels really gettable. And then we liked Bwippo. Let's talk about Bwippo as a one-off, and then that leaves us BDD. So let's go up to, can't go up to Cuz. Yeah, we're kind of locked in here. It's a little tight for the $100. I mean, this looks pretty good to me. If you want to get to ADC captain, you want to get to Duck Dom captain, this is pretty interesting. If you're willing to go to Labrov, you could do a one-off of like Masu or Ruler. What do we think about that? For a really awkward 2-2-3 build or 2-3-2, whatever you want to think of it. Probably rather get off BDD there though, weirdly. Who do we like here though? Quad? What's up? Quad 33. Caps 28. Faker 37. Knight. Jesus. Somebody's really trying to hack my Coinbase. Buddy, I wish you the best of luck. Like, enjoy your. I don't even know what's in there. Probably, it's probably not empty, but I don't think there's a ton of value in there. So BDD 37, Cream 38. I mean, these projections for best of one are a joke. Zeka 38, Faker. These are high projections for T1 today. Whiffo 31 is good. Doran 35. Let's see if we can get to Doran. Yeah, Doran's basically the same price as Blip, but maybe this is what we do KTT1. I think I probably still take BDD there. Uma. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're not picky, let's see what we can do with Genji. The prices are so low. Like Duro. I mean, I'm not going to play Canyon, but it's interesting. Yeah, this is a position where we would do Shadow as a one-off. Nobody's going to play that shit. That G2 team price just feels way too low at 48. They're by far the lowest. Yeah. So we're going to get to a lot of G2 team today. Yeah. 2-3-1-1. Yeah, we could go ruler captain. That clears up just like, god damn it. But I think for the same price, a lot of people are going to play BLG instead of KT. Because, like you saw there, you're paying the same price for Elk as Duck Dom. People are going to play Elk. Like, if you have to choose $200 for Knight, people find that $200 to play Knight over BDD. And especially playing Shadow here. So, Shadow is probably a mistake. I mean, I do kind of like it, but yeah, I mean, you can play basically anything today. Yesterday it was really kind of hard to get to some ADC captains, but this is it's not softer, but we're seeing stronger options towards the bottom. Okay, let's build one. All right, we're gonna run G2 Esports as the team for now. Let's look at mid. Let's see if we can do BLG. So Knight, Elk on. This is a pricey build. What's Ben look like? 32. I think we're probably gonna go down from Ben. But let's put them all in. And if it's shadow, 10-2. Okay, we can work with this. Can we get to out captain? T1, Keen. So we need 500, shave 500 off. We're almost there. Now, if we play, okay, yeah, look at that. I mean, if somebody was like, hey, you can play the top LCK team and the top LPL team by ranking and place them within, ruler captain. I wish we could get to Elk Captain here, but and I mean you can, but you have to play. I think Canyon would let us do it, and I think people will play this because I think people will play Canyon to avoid having to play Shadow. I wouldn't be surprised to see this own 4 Gen G, 2 BLG. This is a cool lineup. I'm not gonna play it. I mean, I'd much rather. Let's see if we can do something like BLG G2, what that looks like. Close. This is really close. I mean, obviously, if we go to Hansama Captain, that's going to clear up a lot. So cheap. Yeah, it leaves us a little bit to spare, too. I'd much rather have Elk at Captain, though. Hmm. All right, let's say we do. I mean, we looked at this and it's, we can do Gen BLG. We saw how we did that. Sturo. How about FlyQuest? Get to Masu. 700 we have to shave. I think we can shave off 700 here. No, it's too close, but we could probably go Knight Captain. Wait. Fuck. I don't think we can do Elk at Captain. No. We're 100 off. I mean, it's pretty interesting. We talked about why we might play Bwipo. I don't love quad. I'd much rather be at night, but that is a big gap in pricing when the other players for pricing are so close together. Still prefer KT, I think, to FlyQuest, but FlyQuest are in just like a really good position. Yeah, I'm gonna get to too much G2 teams, so get your money into bet on Koi. All right, let's look at some pick six. We're gonna go game by game, and we'll go into these projections here. So Fly key stars. Masu 5.5 kills. What do we think? Masu 6.78. Let's close that. I can put that in. I'll just watch the video and grab it later. Inspired 9.5 assists. Busio 13.5 assists. I mean, these are a little tighter than I'd like. Because Vegas corrected the projections for kills, it means that everything's just a little bit tighter. Whippo's 6.5 assists seems like probably our best position here. Let's see what they set the kills for Whippo. Quad, Busio. We don't have Whippo kills. Hmm. They're on to us. Uh, Masters 6.5 assists might also be a take. No, it's too close. Okay, let's move on to the next game. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try and find six, but because correlation doesn't go against us, so like you take, say we take this and we take one from this team. The correlation, oh, still have a boost. The correlation doesn't really isn't affected compared to taking two from one team. So you'll see here, still 2.7. So my strategy is to try and find as much correlation as we can. On underdog, you want to try and find ways to get around correlation or even create negative correlation to raise it up because they have dynamic pricing, dynamic odds, whatever the fuck it's called. But this is static, so this is like um, the way it works on DraftKings with pick six is you do six, it's 15, right? So you pick six, it's 15x. But depending on what the pools look like and how many people actually correctly get six, you might get a larger payout. And each dollar is put into a separate contest, and those contests have payouts. So you can go online and look at all of the rules and everything. But my strategy is to find as much correlation as we can. So for pick six, I want to do three of two, meaning I want three teams and two from each team. And I want to correlate those as much as possible. I don't think it'll let us do four from a game. Oh shit. What? Okay, hold up. If it's gonna let us do four from a game, we might take a slightly different strategy here. I didn't think it did. I could have sworn that you couldn't do. Oh my god, that's wild. Okay, let's look at this KTTSW. I'm gonna close some stuff here real quick and see what this looks like. Yeah, this looks okay. I'm gonna move my head over though, so you can see the. Okay. Oof. Just seriously, the worst bath in DFS last night. It was a total loss. We'll end up depositing again. Okay, KT TSW. What do we want? BDD 4.5 kills. Cuz 3.5 kills. Cuz we like more than 3.5. We like more than 4.5. 1.8, 1.5. Duck Dom. We have Duck Dom kills. 6.5 assists. Creep score. Yeah, man, the stuff they have up here is perfect. 2.5 kills. Peter 11.5 assists. Yep. Let's do Cuz and Peter assists. That means it's a Duck Dom carry game. Cuz at 8.5. I don't think it has the. Maybe we want Cuz kills. 11.5 is a big number. We had 11 last night. Number was 10.5. Doug Dom historically has done a lot of assisting, but oof, in a single game, he's more likely to do more carrying just because the way the draft works. Let's put these two in for right now. And then TSW, kills per loss. These are all going to be pretty close. Dyers, almost 3. Let's see. Oh, Hockey. Yeah, it's not enough meat on the bone. Dyer, Eddie, 5.5, 4.5. Yeah. Okay. Let's put those two in. Move along. Koi G2. We like G2 here quite a bit. These numbers are pretty low. Vegas agrees the numbers should be pretty low. They're right in line, aren't they? 4.5, 3.5, 3.5, 2.5. Yeah, these are, I mean, just right in line. Broken Blade isn't over, but it's too marginal. we can find some. This 11.5 is probably too high for Labrov. Yeah, it's right in line with projections. 6, 8, 7, 6, 12, 6, 8, 7, 6, 12. Yeah, there's nothing here. I mean, we could maybe look at unders for MCOY. I think the Supa unders may be really interesting, but I'd like to take the Mirwin under, but this matchup, if Mirwin gets on the right champion, he could be the top scorer for Koi easily. Any meat here? Assists 4-3-3-2-6. Yeah, this only allows us to go more. Okay, moving on. This is so stupidly time consuming. We have 3, 4, 6, 6, 1, 3, 4. So cream over and kills. And then let's look at assists. 8, 12, 9, 8, 16. Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me? They don't even have on in here. This is so bad. Oh, Hong. I was looking for on, which is BLG, but this is Hong. Hong's what we would want. 13.5? No fucking way. I think this Kanavi over on assists is probably pretty close to a bet. 9.5 when we project at almost 13. It's marginal though, because we, again, with the draft, we don't know what champions these people be on. We have seen them do Kanavi as the carry in JKL, is more of a secondary carry, or oh man. We're gonna put it in for right now, but it's if we can find something better, those are coming out. Updated picks for T1. T1 CFO. Okay. I prefer to do overs just because they're easier to hit, especially it varies, but it gives us an idea of where we are anyways. 5, 4, 4, 8. Well, over one for Carria. So that's one I'll take on underdog because it'll hopefully if it's set at 1.5, then no. But these numbers, ooh, I won't do a negative modifier. 13.5 assists. I have it 17.5. Take that. And then owner. So it's double assist. So that's 6 picks. Fuck! Did they make an adjustment on Peter? No, he was already 11.5. I think he was already 11.5. I still don't like it though. I don't like any of these. These are all garbage. This pick six bullshit. Gingy AL. Hey, if you like AL to win, take the AL overs. I mean, you just pick any of them. Like Hope, Tarzan, these will definitely be over if they win. Like 3, 4, 4, 7, 1 for Gingy. No, no, no. Yes, but with the modifier. Euro 12.5. Nope, too close. 13.6. 7.997. 13. No, these are all garbage, garbage. Phonetic BLG. 3.5. 5, 6, 7, 1. Yeah, 3, 5, 6, 7. No, no. They have it as Beishuan. I mean, you could take it. You could take Beishuan here, but if it's Shadow, then your ticket gets knocked down a whole level. And I'm, yeah, modifier. God damn it. Ah, fire. 13.5 assists, maybe. 9, 13, 11, 9. Yeah, okay. So we could do that. 13.5 is just such a big number, though, that I hate taking a number that big for anything. Yep. You know, you'll just have to go through these and see what you think. I think we'll probably just post as it is. Wow, these are some big assist numbers. Okay, maybe we can find something here. Yeah. Okay, we can definitely do something here. So we're gonna take out, I think, Peter and Cuz, and hope that we get Kanavi in more of a supporting role. These are really marginal against these, like, these T1 picks against a lesser team like that is a real problem because they may just blow them out and there may not be 18 kills, which is what we would need for Carrier to have 13.5 assists. It may be more too, depending on the champion. Same thing here for Owner to get to 10. We need about 18 because Owner in this case would go like 4-0-12. That'd be 16. We need almost 20 kills from 22 kills from T1 to hit this number, which I think is fine. T1 runs it up a little bit. So, and then TES I expect to run it up. So let's hope that HLE win. Let's take this Viper position here. 6.5 is way too low for kills. And then Zeus 3.5, Peanut 2.5, Zeka 3.5. Nope, those are all tight. The light we would take the over on underdog, but we don't have an option to take over on kills here. So let's see delight. So let's just take delight here. Okay. So we have two really huge assist numbers from supports. Carry a 13.5 and Delight 13.5. This is bad. This is bad. Don't play this. This is bad. But yeah, so 19.5 plus or 19.5 would be where we start at plus any bonus. So $5 would go to 97.5 or $97. So it's almost 20. So it's similar to the way we used to be able to do it on Underdog when Underdog first started. If you want more information about this, but I also think that like if this hits, we probably get a couple extra dollars, move up like a couple percentages. So we're gonna lock you in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Check my location. Great. So looks like I'm out of tokens, but no, get your tokens and stuff from them. Get all the money you can for free. Oh fuck, you didn't see it, but because I had this on the right hand side, but yeah, whatever. Who cares? Who cares? I don't know if any of this is any use. Just fucking guess. I mean, who cares? You wouldn't think I do this for money, but I genuinely at times just hate everything. And League of Legends DFS is in such bad shape. Okay. Anyways, if you're in the DFR Discord, I love you. If you're not, you're a terrible person. You should join. I'll put the thing in the link in the reply. And fuck, good luck tonight.